Hi, this is James with the Master Lawyer Academy, and I want to give you a brief message on this Tuesday before Thanksgiving. If you're making Thanksgiving plans, you're deciding whether to get together with family, whether you should travel, or maybe you've already decided these things, but you're a little worried about executive orders that might undermine your ability to get together with family or friends. These governor orders or other state and city orders related to the pandemic, which are attempting in many places to shut down Thanksgiving. I've been doing criminal defense work and protecting people's constitutional rights for almost 20 years. And I want to just share with you a few key constitutional rights that all of us have, that especially at this time of Thanksgiving we should remember, so you can celebrate Thanksgiving with a little more peace of mind, with a little less worry that you're going to get arrested for exercising essentially what are your constitutional rights. And I want to give you this one caveat that while I am a practicing attorney, I'm just giving this information to you in an educational, informational sense. I'm not providing legal advice because every situation is different. Every state has its own form of orders. And it's important, if you have serious questions, legal questions, to consult with an attorney who can provide you specific feedback. I just want to give you general principles so you understand the nature of the constitutional protections that you and I enjoy. So you can celebrate Thanksgiving, you can give thanks and have gratitude with peace without worry. The first is this: your house is a castle. The Constitution has enshrouded our individual rights most vitally or most centrally in our homes, in the privacy of that space which we call home, where we lay our head at night, where we should be the safest from any sort of government intrusion, where we should be the safest from any sort of intrusion from the public. And the United States Supreme Court has always upheld the sanctity of our homes as that individual space where no one can intrude unless there is a very good reason. So keep that in mind. If you plan to have Thanksgiving in the privacy of your own home, what you do in the privacy of the four corners of those walls that make up your house is entirely up to you. Number 2. Before police or any sort of government official can enter your home, that person either needs your consent or a search warrant. Now, I'm hearing across the country there are sheriffs and police chiefs who are already declaring certain executive orders which seek to control the way that we Thanksgiving in the privacy of our own homes as unconstitutional. They are saying, we will not enforce these laws because we are sworn to uphold the Constitution, and police who have a lot of experience, the leaders, the sheriffs, the chiefs, and so forth, understand that they cannot, in good conscience, violate constitutional rights of individuals celebrating Thanksgiving in the privacy of their own homes. The two exceptions to that would be if a police officer knocks on your door and asks to come in to look around or to see what you're doing. That is seeking consent. You have the absolute right to deny consent. It may sound rude, it may seem disrespectful, but that is your constitutional right. A police officer who seeks to enter your house without a warrant, but by consent, must leave your house, must walk away from that front door if you say, no thank you, not today, officer. If you do not provide consent, that officer cannot get into your home unless the second option would be he or she has a search warrant. A search warrant has always been a tool for police to use if they suspect crime. You can't just randomly get a search warrant. And the search warrant process requires a judge or magistrate assess the circumstances, the facts provided by a police officer who wants a warrant to enter a particular person's home. And a judge could deny a search warrant request by a police officer if there is not good cause, probable cause to believe that criminal activity is taking place in a particular home. It is unlikely a police officer will have a search warrant to enter your house on Thanksgiving for potentially violating coronavirus orders. Just keep in mind, either consent or a search warrant for police to enter your home. If you do not provide consent and there is no warrant, police cannot enter your own home. And likewise, you have no obligation to discuss the details of what you are doing in private, in the privacy of your own home. If a police officer asks you at the front door, "What are you doing in here?" you have no obligation to give information to that officer. It may seem disrespectful, but it's not. It's a constitutional right, and no police officer can denounce that. It may cause a little upset, but if you say, "Officer, I'm just fine. We're in the privacy of our own home. It's not something I wish to discuss," then that officer has no other recourse but to potentially go get a search warrant, which would be a 2 or 3 hour process, and again is unlikely. Number 3, in terms of fundamental constitutional rights to keep in mind, is the freedom of religion and the freedom of association. The Pilgrims 400 years ago in 1620 left England seeking America, a new land, a place where they could exercise their religion freely, where they could live their lives freely, where they could carve out a path in their own life journey freely without intrusion from the English crown. That is what we celebrate this Thanksgiving. That is what we celebrate every Thanksgiving. The right to give thanks to God. The right to give thanks to the omnipotent. The right to give thanks in general. And that fundamental right can never be attacked or thwarted by any government official. Any attempt to do so would end up in the Supreme Court, where they ultimately would denounce such an attempt as a violation of religious liberty, the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Similarly, the right to association, to associate, to gather with people, to discuss politics, to discuss the freedoms of our country, to discuss social challenges, to be with each other and encourage and support. That is the right of association. And again, First Amendment right that no government law can thwart, can undermine, because the constitutional principles we have will always supersede any particular law that seeks to take away these fundamental rights. So if you're worried by the headlines, if you're concerned about whether you can celebrate Thanksgiving or not, or how you intend to do it, keep in mind that the constitutional rights you enjoy, that I enjoy, are shrouded in our country's history. It is one of the reasons why the Pilgrims came to our country in the first place. So how ironic it is that we now are facing government orders that attempt to take away Thanksgiving from us. This is not my intention to sow discord or anarchy, because I think what's most important is you and I do our part to help end the coronavirus pandemic. But I believe that you and I are the most responsible individuals who can choose how to do that responsibly in the confines of our own homes, within our families, and with respect to our constitutional rights. So keep these fundamental rights in mind. I hope you can celebrate Thanksgiving in peace, with less worry, and give thanks for this wonderful country that we live in. I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving, and I hope this has been helpful.